Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for joining this conversation. I see we're good. Okay. So, the thing I want to talk about today is personal branding and as regards your business and why it's important for you to have a personal brand for your business. And many people don't understand yet, but they will soon enough, that we're now living in a barrierless system to where attention and transparency are very, very wonderful commodities to have. And a lot of people downplay personal branding because they're still misreading the signs. Many people even don't want to brand themselves because they think that it's them displaying piety and and that they don't want to be conceited. So, they rather just stay back. But the truth is, we're living in a trust-driven economy now, and there's a number of reasons why your brand actually needs personality. Even if you think back to traditional media, old media, I would call it, there's there's a psychology that is backing the choice that these bigger corporations would make to use actors to do ads, to use people who seem like their target audience to to make ads, like, and they'll hire these people, they'll give them scripts, they'll blah blah blah. All of those scripts are supposed to go and highlight the pain point of their target market, and then they're now just sensationalizing the solution or service or product in a way that will cater to this market. For businesses today, the 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 way to still apply that psychology is by having your your personality come out and be the anchor for your marketing thing that's driving your marketing. And I'll explain why. So some people still mistake privacy for strategy. That's one thing. A lot of people don't see themselves as, they refuse to see themselves as being part of their product or their service, the thing that they're giving to the world. And for different reasons, everybody has their reasons, but I want to focus on talking about why it's actually the right thing to do, to think about cooking yourself and putting yourself out there, and allowing the relatable part of yourself be the thing that people see first, and then I'll explain why that converts to actual business and why that puts you ahead in the game today as the game is played today. So I'll talk about a number of things, and then I'll allow everybody to come in and ask questions, and we'll just leave the chat open for that. So, first of all, the way I see entrepreneurship um, is, I'm not necessarily this all-encompassing person that knows everything about everything, and then I'm now just going into business. Entrepreneurship essentially is realizing that the person that you have to become is harder to build than the business itself, right? It forces you to confront parts of yourself that you cannot automate, that you cannot delegate. So, for a lot of entrepreneurs, they get to learn that their their journey to self-discovery tends to even be harder, or their journey of self-discovery tends to even be harder um, than the business that they're building. So, for the most part, if you, as the business owner or as the business executive, or the person running the business, isn't fully structured or fully embracing of the process to become structured, you'll find that your business will have a lot of lapses, because for the most part, when someone comes in to manage a business, we're trying to manage that business as best we know how, as best we can, the way that it will suit us, the way that it will be palatable for us. And if we on our own were very disorganized individuals, we'll find out it will be very difficult to organize a business. So a lot of personal taste and personal style already comes into play when you're running a business, and a lot of people don't necessarily place their finger on that as, right, okay, is that the thing to solve for? Then let's solve for it. And this affects African businesses a lot, because many of us still take our business like hobbies. A lot of us still look at our work as like for example, we're making content, like we're still making all this is your girl type of content, it's your guy type of content. We've not clicked that the um the roof now is open. There's no more gatekeepers. Basically, the attention of the entire world is ready for you if you're ready for their to receive their attention. The attention is ready to come to your business. And then it's not a question of, so what will be the strategy to go ahead and harness all of this attention that is available right now in the world. And when I think about like my own journey and what it has been thus far, I've come to see that every time that I allow my personality to shine, every time that I get on a sales call, or I go network with people, or I go meet somebody somewhere, it's me that they're talking to. And they may want to do business with me at the end of the day, but the thing that is winning that business for me is me. And don't forget that we now live in a time that a lot of content out there can be faked. AI generated content is a lot, saturating the market these days. And a lot of that content that whole phenomena it will get worse and worse. This morning I saw a video of very dark man hugging President Tinubu. It's AI generated, but like, and the person, the account that posted that particular fake video posted it as if it were real. And we're coming into this time in modern history and modern marketing, and in this game where everybody's seeking attention, everybody's just seeking attention. And attention is there to be garnered, right? But then the thing that would then differentiate everybody that is playing the game, everybody that is seeking business, everybody that is trying to build their business and build their brand, is how what is the different is the unique source that your personal way of operating, your personal way of doing things, how it sets you apart essentially is what really will really get people ahead in today's economy. I want to read something out. So essentially, the constraint isn't talent, it's strategy. Okay. It's not about your credentials, it's not about your education, it's not about uh it's not about a lot of all those things. It's really about your personality, in the sense of the the way you like to operate and the culture that you exist within is now exportable to the rest of the world. So creating content, you see a lot of African creators, for example, that will create content that is basically, it's generic, it's local, it's for a local market. It's not yet packaged and tailored for the global audience that I'm saying is there to be catered to. And for a lot of reasons, maybe perhaps, I don't know, different reasons. But the point is, you have to be able to export your content. Your content has to be exportable. If not, you expire. Your content has to be exportable, because now, as Kick and Co is in existence, we're servicing clients from around the world. A lot of them I've never even met. A lot of them I may never meet, but we're servicing them. And the way we've been able to pull that off is, like I said earlier, me showing up to conversations as my very self, me showing up without trying to overtly package, because at the end of the day, it's marketing and communications that we're doing, and there's a lot of marketing and communication agencies out there. And if I'm not showing up as my unique self, bringing my unique source to the playing board, there is a high likelihood that I'll have to be competing with other businesses based on pricing, based on some of these other market indicators or market swing indicators. So I'm saying that when I show up as myself, when I show up with my unique stories, when I show up with my unique um, quirks, it either repels people that aren't for me, or it attracts people who are seeking my kind of person. And it also leads to longevity in business, because now, for the most part, people are doing business with the company because, frankly, they just like me. They just like me. I'm not stressing them. I'm their kind of person normally. I'm the type of person that they would like to hang out with. I'm the type of person that they would, want to be friends with, right? And as much as we see business as this thing that is, well, we're doing it to make a life, to grow and all these things, we also want to have fun with it, right? So when you're working with somebody that you actually like, when you're working with somebody that you actually respect, when you're working with somebody that is real, is natural, it makes for a better experience through the entire process of working with them. And that's just the fact. So why does your business need personality? Why do you need to start showing personality in your business? I'll give you I want to share about 5 reasons, and then I'll just go in and chop them up and dive in. So the first is, markets are now saturated. So differentiation is no longer functional. Essentially, features, pricing, performance, all those things are just they're just table stakes. You understand? If you sound like everybody else, you are going to be invisible. If you sound like everybody else, you are going to be invisible. The second reason why you need your brand, why you need to show personality in your brand, algorithms reward signal, not polish. So platforms prioritize engagement, resonance, and memorability. Okay, not corporate correctness. That's where we are today. So basically, no personality, no signal, no distribution. You will not do well. The third reason is, buyers don't trust institutions anymore, or at least not as much as they used to back in the day. They trust perspectives, though. It's like when something happens, many of us are going on YouTube to go and find what commentator has said, has given their 2 cents on the matter. Even basically, we're waiting for people to tell us what to think. And we trust those voices over the traditional, conventional pundits that would go on the bigger channels or on the bigger platforms to speak to us. We're now seeking out individual brands to hear what they think about the issue. And then we're now basing our own thoughts on the issue, on their thoughts of the issue, which is a very interesting thing that I've observed as well. Now, the fourth thing is, personality compresses the sales cycle. So a strong brand personality pre-qualifies buyers even before the first conversation. So people come into conversations with you feeling like they know something about you, or they know you, or they're even friends with you, right? And it really helps to close a lot of deals, because when somebody is coming into a conversation already having something that they want to ask you, or something that they see that they like that you did, it galvanizes the conversation and makes everything flow smooth for them, which makes it easier for you. And then the fifth thing is, AI has now commoditized content. Personality is now the crux of the matter. Like, AI can replicate information instantly. What AI cannot replicate is contextual taste, is lived experience, is unique perspective, is opinionated framing. As in, if something happens today, oh, Nigeria beat Mozambique 4-0, we're not just looking to watch the highlights. A lot of the attention that will flow towards that news isn't just going to be highlights. A lot of us are going to seek for what did this person say about this thing that just happened? What did that character say about this thing that just happened? So you find that the whole idea of influence and how we get influenced by people that we watch and consume is making it so that as we continue to consume their content, if at any point in time they now decide to sell us something, we already trust their expertise. Do you understand? We already feel like we know these people to some extent, to where when we enter that conversation with them, we're not asking them even questions to like to build trust anymore. We're asking questions that would I don't know, it just makes it a lot easier in that regard, to where we feel like we know this person already, we already trust them already, we already consumed so much of them that we feel like, rah, this person sure knows what they're talking about. So I want to go work with this person. So the bottom line is, brands that avoid personality, showing personality for their business, in their marketing, in their content, in the way they outreach and reach out to people, they're going to keep competing on price. This person says this, so your own is cheaper, I'll go, blah, blah, blah. They will compete on price. They will rely on paid media a lot, heavy. You have to spend a lot of money to get attention. You have to spend a lot of resources to get ahead. They'll struggle to close again because people don't know them, they don't trust them, they haven't heard anything about them. So they will struggle to close and they will die quietly. They will. But brands that embrace personality will attract aligned buyers. They will command premiums and then they will build leverage. And let me stay on these aligned buyers for a second. So, where somebody doesn't want to buy something from you, and you've done all the marketing tactics to make them to buy the thing, or to come and work with your business, perhaps it's service-based business, you're going to find that that relationship is going to be very stressful for you and for them, because it's like you're forcing somebody who doesn't like you to be in a relationship with you. It's going to stress you, it's going to stress them, right? And many people also look at this whole thing about personality as they'd rather be private, they'd rather not be conceited, right? They're thinking that people who want to brand themselves they must be conceited, they must love themselves too much, that it must be unhealthy. But then the truth is, and many of them also associate uh personal branding and personality with unprofessionalism. But then the truth now is, we have moved into this era where professionalism is basically vibe. If I like you, if I like you, I can choose you as my professional. We're not now waiting for somebody to wear suit and tie and and do all the traditional professional signals before we say, that person is a professional at what they do. Professionalism at this point now is a question of competence and perception, especially perception, because what the social media game is, for the most part, is a lot of people trying to um, share their thoughts and be out there and like gather attention, right? And then convert that attention to business. So many people have even invested a lot of their own marketing strategy and coined out systems that make it so that they they seem like the right option, even if they're not competent on the back end and they are not actually the right option. But they put in their best effort to seem like the right option. So there's a lot of, like, in the space now, people that are getting a lot of attention. For the most part, they're the ones getting a lot of business. So even if you're the competent person in the mix, even if you're the person in the market who can do the job the best, if you are unknown, you will not get far. Period. If you're unknown, you will not close business. You will struggle. Period. And that unknown now is like, we're not solving for blind fame. We're not solving for uh just a thing where people You're not just solving to be out there. You're solving to be out there for a reason, that people know you for a particular thing or set of things. Because a lot of people are polymaths as well, and they can master a number of different things. So, and then a lot of people come out with one thing, and then when they have that attention, they can now show people the rest of what they can do. Some people, anyway, let me get off that thought. So the point is, many people don't understand how the modern markets work, and that's why a lot of them still see the bid to brand yourself as a conceited thing. It's really not. It's really not. So they assume that showing their own perspectives or values and all of these things and their own edge, even, it dilutes their credibility. Meanwhile, that's the exact thing that elevates their credibility. You understand? And by the way, I'm going to take questions. I just want to share a number of points, and then perhaps when someone latches onto any thought that they want to ask questions on or share insights on, or whatever else the case may be, you can leave that in the chat, and I'll keep on responding as I see any comment or reference. Right. So a lot of founders and executives actually don't see themselves as a product. Okay, they're refusing to brand themselves because they think that, well, whatever their reasoning is, it's a warped reasoning, and I'll explain why. I want to read something else out. Okay, I want to read this out. So see this. While we're debating whether African content can travel, while there's a lot of debate around whether African content can travel and be global, there's a lot of content from other continents that are already making millions and millions and millions from the attention that they're collecting from the African market and attention that they're collecting from the global landscape. And this is the reason that this thing is happening. Many people that are, especially, I've experienced a lot of African creators, African business people, so I can speak more to that. But many African people still don't understand that the lead that used to be where, oh, you cannot grow beyond this point, in terms of there's gatekeepers that's keeping you away from deals, international deals, or there's gatekeepers, or there's reasons why you cannot excel past this roof. That roof has now come out, and a lot of African businesses, African business owners don't know, which is very unfortunate. But then the truth is, a lot of people who have seen a lot of headway in business, African business owners, international business owners, global business owners, a lot of people who have seen good headway in their business have seen that headway due to the fact that when they're packaging their content, when they're producing something about their business, when they're putting out information about themselves, they understand that at this point, literally anybody can see you. Anybody can see you. And it would take for you to be very conscious of that, to tailor your brand to that regard. You have to be conscious of the fact that these platforms that are available now, we're seeking novelty. The platforms are seeking novelty. So novelty essentially is just uniqueness. You understand? What will separate you from the pack? What will be the differentiating X that somebody you see, I know that this person may, like, literally, even me personally, I've gotten business to where someone says to me, you're more expensive than every other person that bid for this job, but I'm going to give you the job because of whatever the case may be, X, Y, and Z. And for the most part, that X, Y, and Z reason that they would use to justify the decision to give me the job or give me the contract has been essentially just that I've shown a side of myself that is very relatable, and I've shown a side of myself that's very me, okay, to where that they feel like, right, this person, I like this person, I can work with this person for a very long time, and that's the reason that they'll give me the job. So in that sense, I'm not even competing with people in the regard of pricing. We're not solving for who has the cheaper pricing. that's the person that'll get the job. No, we're solving for the person who has communicated the perception of long-term partnership, long-term value enough, and then the client goes with that individual. And I could give testimony upon how just leveraging my personality has gotten me ahead in my business. And in this series, I'm going to be talking about sustaining business in Nigeria, and that's going to be in the last Wednesday of this month. But I've been and that sustaining business in Nigeria will still tie into this personal branding as part of it. But just touching on that a bit is, if you're not able to do business in the way that you like to do business, you will not be able to do business for a very long time. And I hope that makes sense to everybody. Like, it's just like learning still. Like, if you're not learning the way that you like to learn, you most likely not learn the thing very well. And it's like even in team sports, if you're not playing with people that you like to play with, you will not enjoy playing the sport. So it's like that. And when you ask people why they stick to old ways of thinking, old ways of doing things without necessarily trying to evolve their patterns and systems, many of them will give you the response that they haven't. Oh, wow. That was a very fat fly. Many of them will give you the response that there's a way of doing things. Hence, let's not go shake up the way of doing things. But now they forget that that way of doing things was somebody else's way of doing things that they just popularized. You understand? Like the way to go about landing a client, the way to go about marketing your product, the way to even do ads for your product. When you're looking at the status quo, or what is normal, what is accepted, what is popular, it's somebody that coined that. It's somebody that came up with that, and the thing was working for them, and the thing was comfortable for them, right? And then they popularized it, they sustained it, they made it cool, they made it acceptable. But for you yourself, if that method is alien to you, if that method doesn't feel natural to you, and you're trying to copy that method, or you're trying to build your own business and your own brand with that method, you're going to find that you're going to meet a lot of problems that, well, you cannot anticipate. You're going to have a lot of friction, and you're not going to sustain you're not going to be able to sustain your operation for a long time, because you're not enjoying yourself at the end of the day. And in one of the podcast episodes that I recorded, I believe it was with Sparky, I was mentioning to him that our conversation led to me saying that as much as there are people on the face of the planet, there can be that many businesses. And the thought behind that is, when there's a lot of people, there's a lot of distinction. Okay. And when there's a lot of distinction, essentially we're talking about uniqueness. So person A likes to do it in a certain way, person B likes to do it in a certain way, person C likes to do it in a certain way. And then we find that when person A comes in contact with a crowd that likes something being done in the way person A likes to do it, they tend to flock towards person A to do the business with that person A, because somehow they are clicking. The way person A is doing is not the same way person B is going to do it too. And it's not the same way crowd B likes the thing to be done. You understand? But then if there's now a generic way of doing it, call it the alphabet way of doing it, and person A goes and tries to do it the generic way, he will find that, or she will find that, there's a lot of friction. Okay, you may even land business, you may close a lot of deals, but the truth is that in in executing the deliverables, in working with your customers, in doing all of these things, you will learn that you've created a punishment for yourself. You may be earning money, which because money is not even the only defining thing to use and measure whether you're doing well or not. I see it as like this: if you're not doing something that you believe in, or if you're not doing something that rewards you in other ways than money, you're not really doing so well. If money is the only thing that's keeping you in your business or in your job or in your wherever else, you're not really doing so well. At the end of the day, what life should be about is the adventure of self-discovery and self-expression. You see, that's the way I see it. So if you see it in that light, as in life should be about discovering yourself and then expressing yourself. You'll see that even how we express ourselves with our dress style, with with the kinds of things that we like to ingest, consume content and such, we'll start seeing how different everybody is. And we'll start seeing how unique we are in the mix of everybody else. And it's like, for example, certain meetings. Me personally would like to do meetings in the morning. In the evening, no, I don't want to do meetings. I want to go and rest. I want to wind down. Okay. But in the mornings, I want to do all my meetings. I want to take all the calls. I want to, whatever the case may be. I want to, like, how early in the morning, perhaps in the wee hours of the day. I want to be alone, quiet time. I want to study. I want to do all of that. And then perhaps 8 to 10, when my brain is still fresh. Yes, let's have all the meetings in the world. Let's talk because we're still sharp. We're still winding up, right? But then there's some people that, if you're giving them meeting time and is anything anything below, before afternoon, you're wasting your time. You understand? Because they don't want to rise up at that early hours of the morning, which is fine, right? And you get to learn that when you're doing your business and you're showing your personality, you get to find people that are actually seeking your type of personality. You're going to find people who regard your personality as oh my god, is that exact thing I've been finding, and then business becomes sweet like that. It's just true. When it comes to even employing staff and working with people, especially for entrepreneurs now, like, your your way of doing something will reflect in the kinds of people that you deem as qualified to be on your team. Like the way you like to do something. If you like somebody that, if you yourself, you're a sluggish person, you're not really a go hard, go quick type of person, you'll be fine with working with people who are sluggish. To a great extent, you won't even see a problem with being sluggish. because because it's just who you are, and versus somebody that is like 247, they're on the move, 247, they want to be on the go, they're seeking efficiency, they're seeking growth, they're seeking all of these things, right? um Anybody that is not on that frequency, on that wavelength, will stress that person out, you see, and will annoy that person, you see. And so that's just how it goes. So all brands need personality for the reason that, number one, you find your crowd. You operate the way you like to operate. You operate for a very long time, and you enjoy what it is that you do, and you will get other benefits coupled with your work, coupled with your business, other benefits that aren't just money. And I think it's important for everybody to understand the whole point of us working is so that we can live. You see, we're not living to work. We're working so that we can live. We're working so that that work can yield fruits or yield benefits. Those benefits are the things now that we are now going to use and live life. I don't know how anybody else sees it, but life is actually supposed to be lived. Me, I believe work is life. Like, you being alive means you ought to be working. You ought to be working to build something. You ought to be creating something. or at least doing something that you find worthwhile, you know? And if you're not being yourself in your work, then life tends to be drudge and not worth living. If you're not doing something that you find that you can be yourself in, that your natural proclivities can shine, that your natural and innate abilities come out uh effortlessly, if you're not doing something that leverages your best attributes, then you're going to find that you'll struggle, you'll be filled with complaint, you'll be filled with stress, a lot of stress, you see. And if we're looking to build businesses that will sustain into the future, businesses that would have legacy, businesses that people can bet on, plan with, rely on, grow together with, then it has to be something that is natural to us. It has to be something that's natural to you. And for the most part, if we don't have that understanding, then we fall to the unfortunate aspect of just being generic and copying people and basically getting drowned out in the market. Because now, as we have AI and we have all of these technologies that are at our fingertips, content generation is easy. You can write a book today without having studied the subject. You can put a book together in 3 hours, a full book, and put on Amazon without having studied. So basically, content generation is not the thing that is special. Like, before, it would take a very intelligent person to go out and write a lot of intelligent things that will impact people. Then the book blows, boom, whatever. But now it's not just about creating content. It's not just about cooking up a video or making an ad. Is now about relatability, in the sense of most people that are going to consume your content are looking for themselves in your content. They're looking for attributes that they would naturally like to function with in your content. They're looking to see whether they even like you to begin with. They're not even looking to check your credentials as much anymore. Credentials are good. Competence is necessary. You have to be able to deliver the value for which you would go and charge people for. You have to be able to show up and show out. And actually, like Kick and Co, we're coming the with the idea that we can work with businesses and brands and facilitate their marketing and facilitate their communication enough to position them in market leadership position for their sector, for their market, for their field. And we must be able to do that. But we're not the only person in the game that would come and tell somebody that we can market your company, we can market your enterprise, we can market your personal brand. We're not the only people who can do that, who can come and make that claim, right? And for the most part, like owing to what I was saying earlier, as there will be many interests seeking out opportunities, as there will be many different camps seeking out opportunity, reaching out to potential clients, those potential clients on their end are seeking a connection to a great extent. Those potential clients out there, they're seeking a kinship to a great extent. They may not say these things explicitly, but on the back end, that's what's going on. Like, there's many boutiques, but then there's a reason why somebody is repeating, they're repeat customer for one particular boutique. There's many people who can fix your generator, but why do you call that one guy? There's many people who can do personal shopping for you, but why do you like this one lady? There's many people who can, you understand? So in every different industry, in every different field, product-based or service-based business, we find that we tend to want to work with and around people who just feel like our people. You understand? Yes, anybody can deliver the service. In fact, the person that even ends up feeling like your person may be the person who is the more expensive service provider or product. But then just because they feel like family, sha, or they make me feel good, or I like how this person speaks, or I like how this person dresses, all of a sudden we don't mind spending more money to buy from that person's hand, to patronize that particular person. You see? So a lot of it has to do with the person's personality, the way we communicate with the person, the way we are able to relate and be ourselves, or the way we are able to understand the person's POV. That's how that tends to be now the differentiating element of what of our decision making, and who we decide to work with. And when it comes to our digital space today, like on YouTube, on Instagram, on all these things, we can do a very quick search to find 10 hairdressers, 10 barbers, 10 people selling furniture, 10 people who are DJs, 10 people who are whatever. But then, even if we're not saying it explicitly, one of the things that is making us to pick, one of the things that is making us to make our decision, that's compelling us to go with this person as opposed to this person, is that we've seen one or two things about the person that we eventually go with, choose, that every other person may even have other things that I wish this person had that too. But you see, because this person is this way, you see, because this person has this attribute, has this quality, has this perspective, opinion, believes in this principle, I will work with them because of this reason. And that's only going to, like, this is only this structure of decision making from buyers, from businesses that are looking for who they work with, for clients that are looking for who they work with. It's only going to remain, and it's only going to get even more evident, to where a lot of bigger institutional bodies and people, a lot of bigger corporations, a lot of bigger platforms, right? A lot of old, like the old ways of seeking credibility, the old ways of communicating credibility, the old ways of signaling credibility is done for. And now is a question of personability. We've seen people who are celebrities who are people just like them. They've become presidents. You understand? What qualifies such a person to be president? People, many of these people are they're just good salesmen, as in they just show their personality in a way where, in fact, they don't care for this part. They don't care for, that black and white. Whether a lot of people hate them, they only care about this. A lot of people like me, right? And at the end of the day, how many customers do we think that we need to even survive in this life? We shouldn't be selling to everybody. We don't need everybody's money. Not all money is good money. Not all money is meant for us. Even if your business can service a lot of different aspects of things, like, you actually want money that is meant for you. And money that is meant for you is money that is, that's sweet to earn. As in, you do not have to change who you are to earn that money. You do not have to wear a different skin to earn that money. You do not have to, be who you're not. Be uncomfortable to earn that money. You actually just being yourself, and then you earn that money. That's the best kind of money. And that's kind of money that, like, when you get paid from somebody who likes you, who you just showed up as yourself, you just showed up as being yourself, you spoke how you typically would speak, you presented how you typically would present, and that person bought from you. That's how you even make repeat customers. That's how you make repeat customers. Because when somebody likes you, let me even use this term, when somebody is your fan, quote unquote, they tend to buy, okay, concrete example. All of us can listen to Davido's song on our phones, on our AirPod, wherever the case may be. We can jam it on speaker. But when Davido is in town, why are we still going to pay extra ticket again? You understand? In a concert, to still listen to the same song, that even when we go home self, in fact, on our drive home, that song that he sang on stage, we'll still jam it inside our car. When we go home, when we're having our bath, we'll still jam it on our speaker. Why? We just like the guy. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same with like it's the same with artists, it's the same with there's okay, even this, there's a reason why even banks, there was a time I think it was even a big thing on the news where banks were only hiring pretty women to sit at the counter. The psychology behind that is the exact same thing. People want to go and be serviced by somebody that they find attractive. You understand? And me, I'm not saying from the service provider POV. The best way to be attractive is by being yourself. You understand? Is by showcasing your personality, that uniqueness, that quirk, that weirdness that you may term even. Because I promise you, every like there's people who are seeking out that your quirk. There's people who haven't bought yet or will happily leave where they've been buying from to come and buy from you just because of your quirk. And the sweet thing about the whole thing is if you're showing that quirk, if that quirk, in fact, if that quirk is your selling point and is the quirk that is most natural to you, most most palatable to you, most enjoyable to you, you'll be able to get repeat customers easy enough. The ones that are already there would be happy to stay. The new ones that are coming would love you. It will be easier, it will be glove in hand. When they come, they know you as this type of person. They know you as the person showing all these attributes. And do you know what that does? That gives you leverage. That gives you leverage because then you're not even in a competition in the market anymore. If especially when it's a game like, or it's a market like a person, a human to human interaction is important. When you're operating in that space where human to human interaction is important, you tend to see that the more natural you can be, the longer you'll be able to operate for. The longer you'll be able to operate for. And then let me read this again. So, especially this now for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is realizing the person you have to become is harder to build than the business itself. Okay, it forces you to confront the parts of yourself that can't be scaled, automated, or delegated. In the end, the real venture isn't the company you're building, it's the person you're becoming in the process. So, in that regard, it's like the journey of self-discovery, the work that you will need to do to uncover yourself, to know yourself, to learn yourself, right? That work is very important because when it comes to personal branding or enterprise branding, you want to brand your company, you want to handle marketing and comms, whatever the case may be. If you don't know yourself and know your special sauce, then you will find that you're going to suffer a lot. If you don't know what you like, if you don't know your taste, if you don't know how you like to present, or how you prefer to do things, then you're going to suffer in that field, you're going to suffer in that space, and you won't be able to do it for a very long time. So in the whole game of entrepreneurship, it's like the more self-aware you are, right, the more unique you'll be able to do things. The more natural you are to your default modus de operandi, the more special you'll be able to bring to the table. And it's like that for any industry, it's like that for any market. So think of it like this. There's 1,001 people that can cut your hair. Why have you chosen this person? Yes, you may say it's because he cuts the hair so well, whatever the case may be. But if you don't enjoy that person's company, no matter how well they cut the hair, you're more likely to leave them than to stay with them. So that's just how it goes. And then something else to note is, let me just pull this up. Let me speak even in the regard of African business and African brands. Now, we have 70% of our population under 30 years old. That is a fact. Okay. So essentially, we have the youngest continent on Earth. The youngest continent on Earth. more creators per capita than anywhere else, right? And that tells you also that for the most part, the people that are the audience of today, the people that are the market you're going to be looking to service as a brand, as a business, as enterprise, trust me, what they are seeking out isn't that old way of doing things, that suit and tie way, that, you know, that boxy, big enterprise, traditional way of doing things. Everybody's looking for steez. Everybody's looking for vibe. Me, if I'm to like, as I am working with clients that, you know, we brand them personally, we brand their company, we're doing it in a very, very unconventional way that it will blow a millennial's head. It will blow a millennial's head, but it seems like second nature for a Gen Z. Do you feel me? And if I was looking to conform to the ways of old, if I was looking to conform to, you know, the way every other person is doing it, I won't be able to do it because I'll be doing it antithetical to the way that is natural to me. You see? So the audience even is seeking something fresh. The audience that you're looking for, the audience that you're looking that you know that you want to buy from you, whether it's a product that you have, whether it's a service that you have, that audience is actually looking for something fresh. Nobody's looking for stale content. Nobody's looking for something that they've seen before, right? Everybody's looking for something new, something distinct that makes them the center of the universe to some degree. To where it's like, rah, if I like to do something in a particular kind of way, who are you as the service provider, as the product seller, to come and tell me I shouldn't do it that way? Who are you? That's the mindset of the audience to a large extent. Like, people prefer to do things a particular way. People prefer to have their service delivered to them in a particular way, and they're seeking for service providers and businesses that can provide that service the way they like to receive it. You understand? So they're also looking, so this unique taste that the customers are also showing, right? If the market doesn't have that commensurate, unique provision, then there's going to be a challenge. So we are looking at the market from the aspect of, we want to be the ones providing the service, we want to be the ones delivering the products. This should give us respite. This should give us a great glee in our minds, because as distinct as many as there are people in the market, as many as there are people to serve and to service and to sell to, that's how many there's taste. That's how many there's uniqueness in terms of how people want to be serviced. So if you're not entering this space with a very different way of doing things, a very different way of looking at things, a very different way of attacking things, you're you're going to find your people, in a sense of, and especially when the way you're doing things actually improves on the old ways of doing things. You see, when the way you've come into the market that you want to operate, when you've come into the market in a way that improves on the former ways of doing things, and your way is unique to you, and your way is the way you enjoy doing things already, and your way is something that is your just your personality, just the way you are, right? Trust me, you earn more, you earn a premium, and you earn for a very long time. That's just how the game is played today, as I see it, and as research shows. So people ought to be willing to embrace themselves, right? And people ought to be able to, or people should be willing to showcase themselves and package their personality. I was speaking with my team in a meeting yesterday, and I was like, our generation today, all of us, we're always on like this mantra of vibes on vibes, vibes on vibes, vibes on vibes. There's nothing wrong with vibes. Absolutely nothing. However, we need to be vibing on structure. You understand? Like when you're operating your business and your personality is this is how you like to dress, this is how you like to show up, this is when you even like to show up to the office, this is when you like to take meetings, this is how you like to deliver, this is how you like to give your service, right? When you now put a structure underneath, right, you're still vibing, you're still catching cruise, you're still having fun, you're still just being yourself, you're still whatever, you're still natural to you, there's nobody that's stressing you, right? But then you're now doing it on structure. And that's how you get longevity, as I see it. So structuring it can be you're opening a company or you're working in a business, and you now as a service provider, you don't want to be going to the office every day of the month. You as the founder of the business can decide what days are the sweetest for you to work, and you hire people that those days that are sweet for you to work will also be sweet for them to work. And you're going to form processes that will make it such that that way you like to work and those days you like to work will deliver crisp value for the types of clients that you would then land. You understand? And that's the way to go. So I guess the first thing is investigating your own personality and understanding yourself. And then the next thing is understanding the that personality that feels most natural to you, and making sure that that personality shines through in the business. Because when the personality comes through in the business, then people are picking up those signals, people are seeing those attributes. And my argument is, when people see somebody that they like, when people see attributes that they like, they will tend to want to be associated with that person. They will tend to want to buy from that person. They will tend to want to work with that person long term. This fly. One moment, please. Hey, please, can I call you back? I'm taping something right now. I'll call you right back. I'll soon be done. Thank you. Right. Sorry about that. Thank you for excusing me. So yeah, so if you're investigating yourself and if you're learning yourself, you understand yourself, how you like to show up, and you understand the kinds of people that you would like to work with in terms of staff or client, whatever the case may be, as natural as you can be, as yourself as you can be. My advice to people is show up with your personality. Show up with that thing that makes you weird, and make sure that that thing that makes you weird, that vibe that makes you weird, is being implemented on a structure. So you cook the structure, and then you understand your vibe naturally already, and then you just keep operating that way. So you start vibing on structure. And that's just the way to win. That's just the way to win in our day and age. You know, technology has come and disintermediated in a way where if you think it's just about following status quo, you'll be left behind, because our imagination is also very, very vivid in our generation. Our imagination allows for us to see new ways that things can be done, and everybody still wants to associate. Everybody wants to be cool, and everybody wants to be around the cool people, and everybody wants to be around the cool thing, right? And if you're writing yourself off by saying, "Rah, it's unprofessional to show personality," if you're not allowing yourself explore that unique thing that only you can do, how will you get to sustain your brand? How will you get to be at the leading edge, at the cutting edge of your market? How will you get to be the person that is so unique that people cannot get your thing elsewhere? You understand? Kick and Co does marketing and comms. You will be able to get marketing and comms elsewhere, but you will not be able to get it the same way Kick and Co will give it to you. Period. You see? So people who are shying away from showing their personality, and people who are shying away from being themselves on, as regards business, people who are not willing to explore their taste in business will tend to suffer in business going into the short to medium to long term. Anybody can generate a social media post now using ChatGPT. Anybody can go and create fake videos using all the tools that are available. Anybody, even your voice can be altered. You can use another person's voice. But the truth is, certain people will still be relevant because their own unique source, right, is just so ungettable elsewhere that even in the faking of content, a lot of people will still reference these brands and reference these businesses and reference these people. A lot of big corporations right now are even spending tons and tons and tons and tons of money hiring marketing agencies to brand their executives. You see, because they understand that at the end of the day, business and landing clients and all these things, you have to do it with your own story. Nobody has lived your life. Nobody has your taste. Nobody has your inclines, right? And is that incline, is that taste, is that uniqueness that people are looking to come to, for you to bring to the table. People are coming to the table to find that uniqueness, to find that new way of doing something. Someone is saying human thoughts and source still wins over AI, but it's not as easy as before. I would actually say it's easier than before because AI has now given us this leverage of speed. And when you have that leverage of speed, you can test things quickly. So this whole thing of self-discovery and learning yourself, you may have several thoughts about how you think you are. And given the technology and tools that we have today, we now have the leverage of speed in terms of testing. We can do controlled testing. Oh, I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm this and that and the other. Can I build my structure in this way? Right? Can I try it in this way? Like I understand my vibe. Do you understand? I understand my vibe now. Before, I would need a gatekeeper to come and elevate me, to come and you know, package me, to come and blah blah. But like now, because we all have access to these technologies, if we have clarity of thoughts in terms of right, I know my vibe, I know what I know what I like to see, what I like to do, right? If I know these things, I can leverage these technologies to go and attempt experimenting to see, okay, which one will now work in the market, you know? So I can have a vibe, yes. I can have a feeling, yes. I can have a style, yes. But many a times it may not be what I think the market needs, that the market needs. But now we have that leverage of testing and testing in a very quick way. What's this? I agree, it's true. Yeah, it's true. You now have the leverage of and the freedom to go out there and test. When you're vibing in your business and you understand your own vibe, who do you now want to service? Go out there and test. Okay, should we package ourselves and present in this way? It's still us, natural to us. Will people like it this way better? Will we find our crowd in this way? Would this platform work for us versus this platform? Some people are making it mad on LinkedIn, but they cannot make it on YouTube because their crowd is on LinkedIn. So people are making it crazy on Instagram, but they will not make it on YouTube because their crowd is on Instagram. So that your vibe is your vibe, then you now go and start finding where is most likely that your audience will be confluenced, right? And then you go and try and reach out to them at that point. You see? So you're just being yourself, and now you're being strategic. So now it's not just about the vibes on vibes, it's vibes on structure. And that structure is just your strategy. And I see it as something that all of us ought to start tapping into, to start vibing on structure. To first learn your vibe, understand your taste, and start doing it on a particular structure. The tools are there, the technology is there, all of these things are available for us to readily use, right? And if you are the one that is going to write yourself off from being natural, from being yourself, from entering the game, from entering the market in a way that is that's natural to you, if you're the one that is writing yourself off from doing that, then you're at a disadvantage, and you'll continue to be at a disadvantage because there's nobody that's coming to come and teach you what you like. There's nobody that's coming to come and tell you how you ought to be. You know how you like to be. You know what you like to do with your time. You know, like you know better than anybody what food you like to eat. You know better than anybody who you like to associate with. You know better than anybody how you like to talk. You know better than anybody how you like to dress. You know better than anybody the services that you can offer best in your opinion. You know better than anybody what it takes for you to offer your service. So even your price point is going to be unique to you. Okay, so when you set your price in a service-based business or in a product-based business, you're not going to be competing with other people based on just the price alone. Okay, you're going to be competing with other people based on how original you are and how unique your taste is. That's what you're going to be competing with people on, not pricing, not all of these other things. You're going to be competing with that perception that you're giving to people, that perception that people are receiving from the signals that you're sending out. Is that a vibe that they want to rock with? That's basically the game. And you're not doing it in a way where you're fighting and everybody must like your vibe. No, vibe is plenty. Different kinds of vibes, different kinds of taste, different kinds of unique sources. And if you're able to just be yourself for long enough, your people just tend to gravitate toward you. Okay, and the more you understand yourself, the more you understand your ideal client. Because ideal now is a set of attributes, right? What is ideal to you may not be what's ideal to me, right? But if I understand my own personality and I understand how I've been projecting myself and how the perception around me to an extent, I'll know what is ideal for me. I will know the kinds of clients I want to work with, the kinds of businesses I want to service. And yeah, and I think that just serves in the long term, especially when you want to do business for a very long time. And you want to earn, good money, and you also want to live a happy life. Because like I said earlier, we're working so that we can live. We're not living so that we can work. Okay? And if you make your life your work, then you find that the more natural and personable you are, the more you operate in your natural elements, the more you are yourself, the more you are natural to you, the better your life will be. Because if you're employing the right kinds of people, if you're in concert with the right kinds of people, if you're marketing and landing the right kinds of clients. When I say right now, it depends on you. You know best what is right, So yeah, but employers now understand and use AI well too. So even before they try to contact someone for a job, they'd have it figured out already. Newcomers will find online work not easy to come by. Bro, stop being negative, man. Everything is subjective. That's your opinion. I see the landscape as actually easier to make money than more difficult. Especially leveraging the same technologies you're talking about. AI is there, but then the thing about AI is it's in the application of it, it's in the outcome of it that's the crux of it. Two people can use ChatGPT and get two very varied results. So for the most part, if you're operating on the mindset of it's already going to be difficult, you will find a lot of difficulty. It's the whole thing. I'm talking about personality too. Me, I'm a very positive person, and I attack most things I do in life from a stance of positivity, from a stance of possibility, from a stance of we can make it happen. Yeah, we can do it. We'll take care of it. That's where I attack most things in my life from. You see, so AI is a very positive tool. Nobody should try and be making it so also grim and negative. Like, if you're a graphics designer today, you can leverage AI, and your taste, even in that AI, taste is the differentiating thing. You see? So a lot of people can use the AI and still generate rubbish, nonsense, not things that will not serve their cause, their business, their market, whatever the case may be. But then somebody with good taste will use the same AI and make so much money, it will be ridiculous. It will be ridiculous. So it's a question of where are you starting from? What's your personality like? Have you understood yourself well enough? Are you willing to show your personality? Are you willing to show your taste? Are you willing to allow your taste to be the thing that is running your business? You understand? So whenever you think about anything, whether it be technology, whether it be your personal brand, ask yourself this. When you're 90 years old, when you're 100 years old, what are those things that you want to be able to say that you did? Who is that person that you want to be able to say people say you are? That becomes your task today, to go and build out those things. The context of your life. It's like it's almost like designing your memories to some extent. To where it's like if you're anchored on that 100 years, what are the things you want to sit on your rocking chair to remember that I did that one. I actually did that one. I did that one. Those are the things that you will not be doing today. So when it comes to so applying this now to the deployment of AI and tools and all of these things, first of all, anchor on who you are. It's not all AI that is for everybody. The same way it's not all platforms that is for everybody. AI is not this. AI is not artificial God. AI is just a tool, and different people will use the tool. It's just like you have Instagram. Taylor Swift has Instagram. Your Instagram is not like her Instagram. You understand? Instagram is the tool. You understand? So if you're investigating yourself, the quality that you are is the quality you'll be able to produce with the tool. Does that make sense? So I'm responding to official Greece 01 that says newcomers will not make money because employers already have AI. Employers have AI, but in teams now, there's AI automations engineer. The employer is going to hire that automations engineer, and then there's going to be different kinds of automation engineers. So if you feel like you can do something really remarkable with AI, then go and plead your case. Because the same way that the employer has the AI, the same way you have the AI, the application of the tool is still going to be distinct. So they themselves can use the AI and produce whatever they will produce. If you can produce something better, they will still hire you. Yeah? Celebrities have access to many tools, all the social media that you have. Why do they still hire social media managers? Because life is delegation. And this same uniqueness I'm speaking about, and this same taste I'm speaking about, when all of us have access to all of these tools, we're still going to make room for people who can use the tools better than us. And especially when we can incorporate those people now into our teams. You see? So in that regard, when we're thinking about tools, and when we're thinking about personal brand, and when we're thinking about being personable and showing ourselves and putting ourselves out there and cooking up our own structure, let us always remember that all of us are very distinct creatures. All of us are very distinct beings. And all of us have distinct tastes, and we're going to have distinct application of the tools that are accessible to everybody. So whether that be for somebody who can write code, it has always been, there's people who write better code than others. Okay, when it comes to LLMs and we have prompts and we have all of these things, there's people who will write better prompts, clearer prompts, more creative prompts than others. So whenever there's a situation where it's like, there's this new tool or there's this new thing that's happening, it always still boils down to your personality. It always still boils down to who you are. What is your source? At the end of the day, you can only give what you have. You cannot give more than what you have. So even in going back to the AI example, artificial intelligence is just a tool, and it will rely on the best minds to utilize it in the best ways, in the most creative ways. On its own, it cannot do anything, right? And it's the same thing with like somebody that's cooking, right? The ingredients are out there. The ingredients are out there. Even you can give somebody ingredients. You can give them a how-to guide on how to cook jollof rice. You understand? But then two people will enter kitchen. They will cook different jollof rice. The same ingredients. So that's how unique all of us are. Okay, the shirts that are available on the market is there for anybody to buy, but you enter market and go and buy a mix and match of clothes that fit your taste. Those clothes are there for me to buy too, but when I go, I'll buy and mix it in the way that suits me too. So anchor on that frame of thought. Like that's how to look at all these technology and tools and everything. Your personality is still going to have to come through for you to make any headway, for you to be distinct. Everybody will have a YouTube channel, but there are some YouTube channels that you just enter and be like, damn, yes, this one, yes. You understand what I'm saying? This one, yes. You know, because now this person is giving you proper value. This person is piquing your interest, is entertaining you, is making you laugh, is making you learn, whatever the case may be. But for different reasons, different people will like different things. Okay. And my entire talk for this particular episode of narrative engineering is saying that you shouldn't be scared to believe in your own unique source. You shouldn't be scared to understand that yes, you may not know everything, but you should be willing to go and learn more things to add to your unique, innate, natural source, so that when you're in the marketplace, when you're marketing yourself, when you're positioning yourself, when you're presenting yourself, you're going to present yourself in a light that's favorable to you. You're going to present yourself in an arena that you understand. You understand? So you're going to be working in. You're going to be working with a system that, even if they ask you questions about it in a way that you haven't studied for it, somehow you're able to put two and two together to make sense. So it's like deciding to operate in a way that is not alien to you. That's just it. Leveraging tools, leveraging platforms, leveraging technology, all of these things will require you to be original. If not, you drown out in the sea of generic. And that's just a fact. Does that make sense, official Grace? Okay, yeah, say it does. Yeah, excellent. So that's what the game is about, man. If you guys are there, so I see official Grace, I see Rain. You guys are following me thus far. I appreciate. Thank you. Okay, so now on the other part of things, what keeps people from deciding to go, portray their personality in business? What keeps people from understanding who they are enough to package it in their enterprise, in their branding, and all of these things? Different reasons. Different people have different reasons. Again, we're all unique in that regard. So we'll all have different reasons for not being for not wanting to do certain things. But then why we ought to do it has become clear. We've talked about how you get leverage, you operate in a game that you understand. You can operate for a very long time. You're not going to compete on pricing because you can price in a very premium way. And people who like you, people who see attributes in you that they want to associate with, they'll come and work with you. And personal branding and personality doesn't necessarily have to mean that you want to be. People shy like like people shy away from showing personality because they think it's unprofessional. And you deciding to show personality and you deciding to be relatable, like people can actually access you, it's plus. It's not unprofessionalism. In fact, that's the when you have a personality and a personal brand and a corporate branding that seems approachable, people will approach you. It's not you being unprofessional, it's actually you being the best professional that you can be. Because being a proper professional, the way I see it, is being relatable. You know your stuff, yes, but you can present your stuff in a way that is digestible. That's what being a professional is. You understand? And you can only present something that is, what kind of fly is this? You can only present something that you can only present something in a digestible way when you have digested it yourself. You understand? So what have you digested more than your own self? What have you digested more than your own the best way to express yourself? You know yourself best. So when you can when the best way to be a professional, a modern professional today, is by knowing how best you like to operate, and then singing your praises out there, like packaging yourself in a structure. It's still your vibe. It's now packaged in a structure that you understand. And because you understand that structure so well, you'll be able to deliver the best kind of deliverables for people. Because you understand it so well. You're the one that cooked it. You're the author and finisher of your fate. So when you're operating in a realm that you understand very well, people will understand you very well. that that's so That's real. That's really it. If you're operating in a system that you understand very well, you'll be able to communicate that thing that you're doing as best you can. And people who can understand it and find attributes in that in your modus de operandi, they are also going to be able to relate with you proper. And I think that's the way to go. That's the way to go. So all brands actually do need personality. It's not unprofessionalism. It's not being conceited. It's not being self-centered. It's not being whoever else is in, because all these things are just limiting thoughts. Be yourself in business. Show up as yourself. Create systems and operate in the best way that you understand how, and then people will understand you better. Period. So please let me take any questions that anybody has. I'll just throw it open now. If anybody wants to ask me anything, let me take questions now. I'll wait. And I hope that's clear for you, Grace. Also, something to add is we live in a time now where everybody has opinions on something. Everybody has opinions on something. How should this be done? How should a YouTube channel be run? How should a personal brand be run? How should a corporate enterprise brand be run? Kick and Co does a lot of marketing for corporate brands. We do a lot of branding and corporate marketing and personal marketing for personal brands. And I've come to see that one of the things that really helps businesses stand apart is there's a hill that they're willing to die on. There's an opinion that they're willing to share that best to them who can argue, they will argue for it until the end. People want to see you standing on a side. It's like that tribe mentality type of thing. They want to see that you know yourself well enough to stand in a particular field or plane or place with all your full chest. People like that thing. It gives them confidence that you understand what it is that you're doing. And for the most part, it's very attractive. Everybody likes a confident person. Everybody, because when you're confident, you give them confidence, right? If you're confident in what it is that you're doing, you understand what it is that you're doing. You make the person that you're telling that you can do the thing feel that confidence too. So it will actually help you close business. You land business, you earn good money, and you earn for a long time because all you're doing is just being yourself. You understand? And so personality actually being personable and showing your personality in your business actually helps you scale, because then you'll be attracting more of the people who like what you have to say, who like your way of doing things, who like your uniqueness, the thing that you're bringing to the table that and they can get this service from anywhere else. But you see the way you take, they do your own. Somehow, you just get the way the thing they sweet them. That will get you more business. That will get you good business. Being personable like that. Yup, it is. I still find something hard though, getting clients like connection. I've tried my best for you. You've not tried your best. If you've tried your best, you land clients. So again, don't limit yourself. If you say you've tried your best, that means you're claiming that you hit your roof. You cannot go beyond that. Allow yourself to be free, bro. Say that you've tried many things and you believe that there's more things you can try. That's it. Like, stop using your own words to write yourself off. See, these are the types of thoughts that I would say make people to write themselves off. How can you say you've done your best, still nothing to come out? No, now you've done many things. You're open to doing more things because who you are is very unique, and everybody can find way. Everybody can really find way. So it's a question of so where do I go to find the right kinds of information? How do I show more of myself? How do I come out as more of myself, to know how to attract more of my people. That's the way to go about it, bro. Does that make sense? Because, like, see, the clients that you're looking for, but they are waiting for you. They are watching you to see if you think like them, if you communicate like them, if you. It's a true guidelines. Yes, now it's true. The people that you're looking for to land you, they're also looking. Sorry, the people that you're looking for to land, they're also waiting for you to come and land them. Like me, I do my business in the mindset of uh people actually need this thing, man. Like, it's not just, I'm not just doing this thing because whatever. Like, I'm doing it because people actually need it. Like businesses need personal, like, enterprise branding. Personal, like, you individuals need personal branding. Companies need enterprise branding. Whether you like it or not. You understand? There's a reason why you see a Tony Elumelu and somehow there's a vibe that comes with him. There's a thing that his brand already communicates. You've never met the man. You've never met the man, but like somehow you know something about him. Somehow you know his vibe. That's the thing about personal branding. So where if you enter a room with him now and you're discussing with him from the point of where the perception you have of him starts or where it stops or wherever. But like, you have a perception of him and you operate with him only from that perception. And you know what that does for him? That gives him leverage. That puts him in the driver's seat. Because the way he has branded himself, the way he has put himself out into the world, if you're bringing something that doesn't concern him, like, he can easily brush that one apart. In fact, to a great extent, the way you're projecting yourself will give you clarity on the kinds of business that you should take, because a lot of opportunities will then start coming your way. You give you clarity on the kinds of opportunities that you're meant to take, the ones that you're meant to let go of. You know, it will teach you timing, because your timing, thing about personal branding and being yourself and being personable is timing also matters. There's sometimes that certain opportunities will hurt you, versus if they had come later, they will benefit you. You understand? And it will only take you. It will only take you understanding yourself and understanding your own system and understanding your own um, best how to operate for you to understand your own timing and your own schedule and when is the right thing, when is the right time to do it, and all these type of things. So yeah, so it's like that. So personal branding gives you that leverage. Corporate branding gives you the same leverage. And the best thing that anybody can do for themselves is understand that every one of us here, we're productizing one aspect or the other of our life. So you shine away from branding yourself or branding your company, in a sense, thinking about marketing and communication, is basically you saying that you don't want to eat. It's basically you saying that you have nothing to give the world. It's basically you saying that everybody should just see you as a non-utility. Because it's either you're productizing your mind, or you're productizing your ability to do something, or your speech, or your ability to talk, or your ability to teach, or your ability to explain. You're productizing something about yourself, or many people are productizing their time. Many people are productizing their body, like they are actually like they have to physically do something, and that's their work. So all of us are productizing some aspect of ourselves. That's what business is. If I can do everything, I will not need anybody. But because this person is coming, the way they talk will serve the business in this regard. We have them on. The way this person dresses, the way this person, blah blah. So everybody is coming with something so unique that is then getting productized. That is now the value that we're giving to people, and then we're collecting other forms of gratuity in exchange. And that's just it. So when you understand that you are a product, or you are an amalgamation of so many different productizable attributes, you'll understand that being yourself and being personable and showing the best of yourself is very important, because it's not just about being the salt of the earth. It's about making people know that you're the salt of the earth. It's about getting in people's faces and having them understand that you are the salt of the earth. Because there's many people who are not the salt of the earth, who seem like the salt of the earth. You see? So if you have this value that you want to give to people, if you have this thing that people can take from you, this unique solution that you can give to people, it is your prerogative to go and start looking like you have that thing. It is your prerogative to go out and start preaching the gospel of your utility, right? And Pick and Co has an offer. One of our offers called Magnet System. So when I say go out and preach the gospel of you being of utility, the way we like to position our brands that we work with, personal brand and corporate brand, is we like to set up their vibe on a structure that can magnet people. So we are setting out to create a structure that we know that showcases your best leverage. You understand? Whatever it is that's your best quirk, call it your best leverage, your most unique offer proposition. That's the thing that we want to help package and put together and position you in a very lovely place to where opportunities will then start coming to you. You understand? And that's our ethos for operating. So when we solve for a brand's magnet system, we then position that magnet system where we understand the ideal audience. Because when we consult with people, we then understand who their ideal audience is. We find the best leverage positioning, and then when we position a brand there, it's to the extent that we want their ideal opportunities to be drawn to them, so that they will not be the ones like actively always just having burnout, chasing after. You ought to know yourself well enough that you actually start attracting your ideal opportunities as a business, as a personal brand, as an individual. You ought to be positioned well enough that, rah, no, even at this side, now you bad pass. That's what we're solving for. At least that's the way we do our marketing and cons for brands and businesses we work with. We want to find where is that place that you can do this thing forever, and the only competition is you. What's your magnet system? What's your leverage point? That's the same way everybody got to be thinking about their own individual brand, about their corporate entity brand. Everybody needs to be looking at it in a way where that personality needs to show. UBA now has a personality. Glow has a personality. Like if you see the way Glow they do their ads, somehow you see a personality where they use a Richard Moffat Damijo, that actor, and they do all these modern, type of thing and all of these things. They're expressing a personality through all of that. You understand? UBA and Tony Lumelu, the exact same thing. They're expressing a personality through the way they will wear red tie, red socks, suits. What they're presenting a personality. Tony as well, he would go and he would dress like a like a young, like a fresh, young guy. He's chilling. That's also him expressing his personality. And I promise you that thing is opening doors for him. Because there's many other bankers. There's Jim Ovia, there's all these people. But like, I know all of them, I'm not no knock to them. They all have their own unique ways of expressing their personality. I'm just anchoring on Tony's own to make a point that when you show up as yourself, you control the narrative, you control the perception, you have leverage, you can do basically what you're doing will start feeling like play to you. What you're doing will start feeling like play to you because like you're the one that is setting the rule of the game. You're the one that know the game you're playing in your own head. You're the one that's projecting what you want to project. The kinds of opportunities that you want, you now know how you're going to project the right perception to attract those opportunities. And that becomes your magnet system, and that becomes your way of positioning in the marketplace. So yeah, all brands really do need personality for that reason. Let me take any other question Greece, do you have any other question for me even before I move on to the last part of my talk? If anybody has any other questions, I'll take it. Otherwise, I just seen a majestic bird, very big bird fly by. So yes, how to go about learning yourself and becoming yourself and experimenting to find out how best to position yourself and present yourself is very easy. Okay, it's as simple as knowing the schedules that work for you, knowing your own shortcomings, knowing and having confidence in the utility that you have to give to people, right? And essentially having the guts, having the mind to even claim something. You understand? When you go and you've done the research, you've done the backing, you have the product, you have the service, you can actually do the thing. Then be confident. Don't matter if this person is doing it this way. Don't matter. You know how you can do your own. You know how you can present. You know how you can operate. Have godlike confidence in that. Obviously, still leaving room for learning because we're all still learning. Okay, but like small confidence will save your life. You understand? So when you have this clarity, you understand what are the best strategies for you to use in going after business, in positioning for business. You know the best strategies to use. You spend less money because you know that you're playing this game for a very long time, and you're not seeking the microwave solution of just make I just do website, make I do da 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 da, and I just that's personal branding. Personal branding is not website. Personal brand is not that you have a website, man. Personal branding is not also that you dress a certain way. That's not personal branding. Personal branding is essentially understanding the essence of your personality and mapping that like into like an attribute stack. And then inside that attribute stack now you're saying, okay, from this now I will dress like this. From this now I'll use these colors. From this now I should learn one or two things because this is my attribute stack. In order to add value, I need to know this thing and I don't know it yet. It will expose you to to the degree that you ought to go and learn certain things. It will become clear to you the things that you ought to learn. The platforms that you need to be on, it will become clear as well, because it's not just about, oh, I want to do personal branding, let me go and open account on Instagram, Facebook, blah blah. No. It's like you have to also have clarity on what platforms are best for what kinds of messages. Some people is Reddit that they should be on and they will make a lot of money. Some people is Substack. Some people is just Facebook. Some people is LinkedIn. Some people is both. Some people is just TikTok and Snapchat. They will make a lot of money. So depending on your attribute stack, working with someone like myself, a marketing consultant, we would do the work to excavate that attribute stack, and then from whence we will pull out things like what platform, what colors. Do we even need a website? Because some businesses don't even need a website and they'll do well. Do you need a YouTube channel? We'll then know. We'll open up for you. What is the strategy to basically, when you think about personal branding or corporate branding, think about it as, who am I? What do I like? Very simple questions like that. And then when you get answers, obviously there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just the questions, but like when you get that clarity on who you are and what you like and what you can do, it's not a question of how best do I position in a particular place to attract people that need this thing or that are seeking out these things. Because the truth is that customers are actually seeking solution. Me, I do what I do with the belief that, right, if I don't do it, then who will? Because people need help. Companies need help. There's a lot of companies that will make so much money if I catch them to brand them. You understand? Like, a lot of people are leaving a lot of money on the table. I see a lot of people that have even platforms already. They have like perhaps YouTube, Instagram, and all these things. And I just scroll past and I'm like, bro, if you start doing, like, just me even not having met them, not having had conversations with them, I'm like, bro, if you just start saying this type of thing, like as a person, if you start posting this type of content, it will do well, and time tells. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you're thinking about personality and you're thinking about personal branding and corporate branding for your business, you have to be operating in a way that is natural to you, that gives you the best kind of leverage, because you're just being yourself, and it almost tends to feel like play to you, but it looks like work to others, but it feels like play to you. And that in and of itself will give you longevity in the game. That in and of itself will give you skill, which means a lot of gratuity, money, and good clients and good relationships and all these things, because that's another thing. Relationships also comes with it. When you're working in a job or in a business or with a company, and that company is expressing itself the way that is best and natural to it, it will also attract good relationships. You understand? And that's what makes life rich. So if for nothing else, to have a good life, you need to start branding yourself well, and branding yourself authentically, and branding yourself in a very original way. And that's just the way to go. Yeah, seeing results is quite a good motivation for sure. If I'm not doing the needy, it's like beating around the bush. Yeah, when you start seeing results, it puts a pump in you as well, as a bounce to your step, that you can actually just cook out value and present yourself in a particular way, and that perception tends to bring opportunities your way. It's a very exhilarating experience, and all brands need it. Your brand needs it. And yeah, so that's what I have for today, and I'll entertain questions now. I welcome questions. Any thoughts, please share. Next week I'll be here 8 a.m. like I am today, and we're also going to be having another interesting conversation. We'll be talking about how to market for a global audience, how to use things for leverage and market to a global audience. First of all, mindset, for you to know that the eyes of the world are on you, and making sure that you're positioning your messaging and all of these things for a global market, not just for a limited space. Anybody that can afford your solution, that needs your solution, can reach out to you, and it's a way to market to the right eyes in that regard. So that's what we'll be talking about next week, and I appreciate everybody who will join that conversation as well. And so now I'll just leave the floor open for questions if anybody has any question. Let me give about, say, 8 minutes for entertaining questions that will come, if any. I haven't explained the needy. What do you mean? Official Greece, you said, I haven't explained the needy. What do you mean by the needy? I don't know what that is. I don't understand. What is the needy? What to be done? Like, what are the things to be done to see results? If you're showing up as yourself, and like I said, you're going to, I don't know if I'm being off topic. I just want to know. That's okay. Things to see results. Like I said, first of all, defining what results that you're seeking is very important. And then knowing what value you have as regards attaining those results and being confident in that value. That's another thing. And then knowing the aspects that you need to improve on. It also becomes clear when you're deciding to brand yourself and be personable and be authentic. And seeing results is just a question of your strategy, man. There's different strategies to get different things done. Okay, it's a very long conversation to start chopping up different types of strategies. But like, when you know who you are and you know how you like to operate and you know what value that you have to give to people, you're going to get into a research mode, because nobody just is born knowing everything. So you start learning based on your attribute stack, who you are as a person, your utilities, What are the ways to go about delivering your value to people? What are the most effective ways? It will become clear. It's going to be unique for different people. And it's just a thing of, if they know themselves and if they've branded themselves well, and if they're sending out the right signals. When I say the right signals, I mean the signal that is natural to them and is going to work in their marketplace. Remember, we talked about experimentation. You just have to try different things. When you keep trying different things, you see a lot of things that don't work. And then when you say for somebody to see results, do you mean to convert more sales, to do more business? What are you talking about? Because that also matters. For example, let's say I have a skill, advertise it. What do I need to do? Gigs, people, portfolio, and so on. So, right. So you advertise now. So the question is, how do you advertise right? So if you already know that you have to advertise, if you have the skill, if you have the knowledge, if you have all that, you just need to advertise, and you just need to advertise right. An advertisement may even come at, it may turn some people off. I like to use the word position. If you have all these things, you have the skill, you have all that, you just have to position right. That's all it is. So whether that be in like what platforms will serve you best, research can tell you that. What times of the day should you post? Research could tell you that. What kinds of posts should you be putting out? Research will tell you that. What are you best at? You will know. What can you give the market that other people cannot give the market? If you can find that thing and then start drilling down on that thing, you'll find people who will give you a shot. And when you deliver, you use that leverage now to say, testimonial or whatever the case may be. You also add to your confidence such that when you're speaking to the next prospect, you close them quicker. These things are not sciences in a way that is measurable. If you do this, you get this. If you do this, you get this. The whole thing is about a cyclical feedback loop of testing and learning, testing and learning, testing and learning. That's how I get results. Yeah. All right. So if that's the question that is thrown out, I appreciate everybody for joining this, and I look forward to seeing everybody next week, Wednesday, 8 a.m. same time, for us to have the other conversation about marketing for a global audience. Perhaps you join that, Grace. I'll share some like proper steps that you can go and tailor for your own business or for your own endeavors. And then perhaps you report back to me what you find, what you learn after doing these things that I will share next week. So I guess that's something to look forward to for you in particular. For every other person, I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you guys have more questions. Just leave a comment. I'll see how many I can get to. And I hope this has been valuable for everybody. And I hope this, has been as fun for you as it has for me. So thank you so much. I will allow this to, I'll just allow a couple more seconds, for if anybody has any other question or anything. And otherwise, we'll just call this the end of this particular talk session. Thank you so much. All right, it's 9:48 my time. I'll let it go to 9:50, and I will call it a day. Good morning, everybody. Absolutely, man. Get on with your day, man. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for everybody that left a comment as well. Rain, see your comment. Thank you for that inquiry. And well, look forward to seeing everybody next week. Bye bye.